Fuck you, man.
The 116 matchup is Florida versus State Farm commercials.
We're live. Continue.
Where were we?
We were talking about the tweeting and the tweetings.
Oh yeah. So, and thank you, Ernest Computer.
Hold up one time.
My thing is it is so unnecessary. It is just so unnecessary for Tony to be doing that, to be creating a false narrative that makes no sense. You want to promote your brand, you want to promote your company, tweeting 172 times every time somebody breathes to make somebody tune into TBS or TNT. Absolutely, that's what you should be doing, promoting your own brand. You even want to take a shot at Cody Rhodes. You want to take a shot at Monday Night Raw. You want to take a shot at NXT. It's not a good look, but I get that. That's in the spirit of a quote unquote war. Literally talking about people talking shit on your company are bots. They're not real. Like, dude, come on. Like, this would never happen in a million years. But if Vince McMahon tweeted out something like that, AEW fans, wrestling journalists would just be having a field day for Vince is losing it. The old man's going crazy. Vince needs to be done. That, somebody needs to take the WWE away from Vince. But like Tony does it, and it's barely a blip on the radar.
It's a cocaine, that's why.
Because, well, yeah. It's not. But because that's just what Tony is. That's who he is. Fuck that, man.
Here's what I'll give Tony though. He's passionate about his brand. I'll do that.
Absolutely.
He promotes his stuff. He's excited about it. Announcements and look out, tune in to Rampage and Dynamite every fucking Wednesday and Friday. I like it.
Absolutely.
It's the other shit. It's the fucking big swole and getting to situations that nobody would give a shit about until you gave a shit about it. And it makes you look bad. Now, does it mean I'm gonna stop watching AEW? Not necessarily, but I'll tell you what though, it has at some time at points made me like, what's fucking brand we keep doing shit like this? Because he has real issues to deal with. Number one, we spoke about this on this podcast a couple times. I've been on podcasts, we talked about this a couple times about the people of color not getting enough shine on their platform. It's happening slowly. Obviously, Jade Cargill is a TBS champion, whatnot. They're starting to improve on that a little bit, but they have
a Black Ring of Honor world champion,
right? And Jay Lethal and Scorpio Sky still the.
What did you just say?
No, it was Jay Lethal, right? No. Sorry.
No, it's the guy that you didn't know that was black until about 3 weeks ago.
Right, John Gresham, right?
this fucking guy.
Remember he's black or not? Every week I keep forgetting that. No, but seriously, and Jim, you see.
Hold on, can we also say that they're the only wrestling company in the world that has a animal as a tag team champion?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
A literal dinosaur.
You want diversity? I'm sorry, it doesn't get more diverse than a fucking dinosaur being a champion. Just saying.
My point is with Tony Khan. I'm rooting for you. The fact that you're doing this right now, 3 years in, and you're not even in competition. You're a great alternative to WWE. And I'm still invested, and people are still invested. That's a win in itself.
I said this on 3 Count earlier that I didn't think that they were a competition until they start running bigger venues. I don't think anybody gives a fuck about them selling out the Una Pizzeria Theater. Go sell out the Smoothie King Center.
Yeah.
Go sell out the Phillips Arena. Sell out.
Last time they went to DC, they were at the was it like the sports and entertainment arena? It seats like 4,500 people.
That's what I'm saying. They filled that one in Florida.
Right.
Go fill FTX Arena in downtown Miami. Like go fill the AAC and let's see what happens.
I don't care if it's not competition or not. Who gives a shit? Like WWE has a 37-year head start right now on you. Like
Not that they have a 37-year head start. They've been through it all. They've been through the ups and downs. They know how to count punch, counter punch. You know, Tony's just figuring this stuff out. Tony's never had to get counter punched watching one of his executive vice presidents walk out and go to the opponent.
Yeah.
Tony's never had adversity.
No, it's all been handed to him. Back against the wall rather than body punch to get the fuck out of there and give yourself some breathing room. He's trying to knock somebody out, and unfortunately he's going to Ali himself and rope-a-dope himself into a point to where he's going to be completely useless, and someone's just going to fucking come on Twitter and just hit him with a fucking overhand left and knock him out.
His saving grace is his pockets. His saving grace is his pockets.
Absolutely.
Is it? I mean, is it though? Because we talked about it on the show. What happens if Discovery and Warner say, you know what? This ain't working out. Where's he going? Who's he selling it to?
And I will say this too also.
Hell, Impact Wrestling has been a thing since what, 2002?
Impact Wrestling has been around longer than WCW was.
Right.
Okay, so but my point is, unless you watch Impact Wrestling, you can't name what channel it's on.
Mm-hmm.
No.
And that's a wrestling company that's been around for 18 years. We're on a wrestling company that's been around for 3. And just because Tony Khan's got deep pockets, he may not be able to buy ad time. He may not be able to buy time on another thing, or he may actually have to fork over money to give himself TV time somewhere.
Yeah, this may be recency bias on my part, but like I feel like AEW is making more noise in these 3 years than Impact really ever did. Like,
I mean, I can't speak on that.
Give me 05 to 07 Impact, when you had Joe, AJ, and Daniels. You had America's Most Wanted versus Io Skipper and Christopher Daniels in the cage match that you see the clip of Primetime hitting the walk across the top of the cage. You know, give me that era Impact. I think it's
comparable.
Pretty damn impactful. No pun intended.
You attend that shit. We talking about you attend that.
No, that one I didn't intend. I think that's what you can equivalent this era of AEW to. But I just pray that AEW doesn't go the route that Impact inevitably went with, like the Main Event Mafia and bringing in all the older guys and trying to sell tickets that way, while also paying them way too much money, because that's exactly what ended up doing themselves in.
I don't see them going that. I don't see them going that way. I think if they're going to be the people that they're going to sign from WWE, like these or old guys, are like your old indie darling. It's your Samoa Joes, your Daniel Bryans, your CM Punks, or like guys that WWE gets rid of. That is who I think they're signing. I don't think they're bringing in, you know.
I also just figured out exactly who's the guy that's going to help Samoa Joe defeat Sanjay Dutt, Jay Lethal, and average Great Khali.
Mediocre Khali?
Yeah, Mediocre Khali. I figure out who it is. Anyone want to guess before I say it out loud?
Go right ahead.
Yeah.
Cesaro.
Ooh.
Former Ring of Honor World Tag Champ. Him and Chris Hero, maybe bring back the Kings of Wrestling.
I like that.
I'd love to see the Kings of Wrestling versus FTR. I mean, I know Chris Harris put on some weight and probably isn't, you know, Sweet and Sour Inc., KOW, Chris Hero anymore, but you get those two in the ring together, I think they can stir up a little magic with FTR, and yeah, I can get behind that. Definitely. Yeah, but to the Tony thing and all that, I don't know about toning it down. I think if you put the energy into other things with your tweets, it comes off better.
Mm-hmm.
Put the energy into plugging your company. Put the energy into, hey, Miami, you know, we're coming. You know, if you want to see us at the American Airlines Arena, start tweeting them. Tell us, hey, you want to fill 25,000, 50,000 seats. Like, start forcing things. And if it comes out in 6 months that Vince has all the major things on like on a retainer lockdown that no wrestling company can wrestle there, and they're basically just filling arenas that they can get their hands on, then that's a whole nother fucking argument. And okay, WWE is necessarily not seeing them as competition, but WWE is not just going to let somebody walk in to their home and shit on their fucking coffee table.
That's very true.
Listener of 3 Count Thursday, Charlie had he and I were texting, and like he brought up a really good point. Like, does Tony Khan need like a social media team for himself?
Oh, without question.
Because like I don't believe that Vince McMahon is tweeting out on 10 a.m. on a Tuesday before WrestleMania. Watch me on Pat McAfee show today.
Is Vince McMahon tweeting at all? Does he actually have a Twitter?
He has a Twitter.
That one, but it's people.
He's not running said Twitter.
But what I'm getting at is you would see. Let's take Vince out of the equation here. Let's compare the apple to the apple. That would be Triple H going, I'm on ESPN. I have a very important announcement about my future. Check in. Compared to Tony Khan going, the bots are coming. Optimus Prime is trying to fuck me over.
I don't even think Triple H is running his Twitter.
I think he probably has, because if he wasn't running his Twitter page, I feel like there'd be a lot more tweets and retweets than there are.
No, here's the deal. I think he has control of what content goes out and when. I don't think he's not doing for himself what I'm doing for 3 Count Thursday. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So like Triple H may be the one telling an intern when to tweet, when to retweet, whatever, or somebody on the staff. I shouldn't say an intern. Somebody on their staff.
Probably an intern.
But like Tony, I truly believe is sitting there hopped up on Adderall and cocaine, tweeting about the boss head. Like I truly think like he's probably just snorting lines off of the phone while he's tweeting out. Like to me, I think they would be smart to have somebody who's like a Tony Khan's right hand man, who's just there and they hear, okay, so there's these bots tweeting, and you're like pretending to take it down, and then like you just like leave it in drafts and then delete it an hour later when he forgets that he even said it.
Let me just say real quick. Vince's last tweet was December 8th last year. He has less than 10 actual tweets from 2021. Less than 10 actual tweets, not retweets or quote tweets, actual tweets.
I was gonna say it's probably all retweets, right?
No, the less than 10 is actual tweets that he's actually done.
Right. But I'm saying his account, he only has 619. Okay, so he only has 619 tweets completely. Yeah. Yeah. So his Twitter account never.
He follows 49 people.
It's not even a thing.
Yeah.
Like let's put the Triple H equation. So like Triple H has been retweeting, he 2 days ago retweeted about the WWE going to the UK, the Variety article, about the Super WrestleMania outpacing the Super Bowl in social media. Triple H's last actual tweet was 5 days ago, congratulating Shane's son for going to Indiana to play football.
Declan, yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, yeah.
We didn't get Tim with best in the world.
We did not. But like if then you look at like Stephanie's Twitter, like you look at the three main executives for the WWE, Vince, Stephanie, Triple H. You look at their Twitter versus Tony Khan's. It's night and day. It's night and day. Like I think personally, I think Tony Khan over tweets on just on like Dynamite and Rampage nights alone.
Yeah.
The guy sends out like a tweet every 5 minutes about people tuning in. Like, bro, we get it. Your show's on. But
I feel bad.
But I can't fault him for it. It's heavy-handed for me. Like, I think to me, it feels over the top. For me, for my taste, I think he's.
You also annoyed Easy though too. So
No, I just. But like he's fucking overdoing it. Like calling a show a pay-per-view quality show every 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Come on, dial it down.
Another pay-per-view quality show.
and
Right. That got less viewers than last week.
and I got an announcement, a new announcement, another announcement.
Yeah. Got to get the viewers back over 1 million.
Yeah, I still think that his announcement on this week's show is that he decided to buy Battle Bots and he's gonna have the Twitter bots face each other. Battle Bots, go!
Bots. All right. Let's see. We'll stay on Tony Khan. I believe the Tony Khan. That's actually Joe's topic.
Hold on. Hey, Sleeping Beauty, wake up! Let's go. Let's go, Cinderella. Your topic's up. You missed the rest of the Tony Khan Twitter.
Yeah.
Jim, Shane McMahon.
The best in the world.
I hit the really long one. I wanted to give Joe a chance to wake up. Halfway home, boys. Greg Hamilton's got some lungs on.
Shane McMahon.
You said it made it better was having Mark's voice in the end.
That is not Mark's voice. That is Hillbilly's voice.
Yes, don't disrespect Hillbilly like that ever again.
Shane McMahon.
Shane McMahon.
All right, Joe, Sleeping Beauty.
What's up?
Your
Your
topic.
topic.
Oh,
We skipped.
We let you sleep a little.
Yeah.
We let you sleep. We let you sleep during the tweeter conversation.
oh, okay.
We figured you'd be better off after a nap.
Probably. I'm still tired.
I mean, we had to wait for Ernest to wake up from a nap just for his computer to take a shit.
Yeah, it sounds about right.
You want to introduce your topic?
Ernest. Oh man. Yes. My topic. My topic for tonight. The topic I am bringing to the conversation of tonight.
You look so high.
The funny thing is I can't see him on my screen. I can only see half of my face. I'm like face off with the fucking.
Sorry. I'm gonna die. Killed me.
So
War games.
Well,
my topic.
wait, hold
War games. War games. War games. War games.
Okay, go ahead.
My topic is quite simply, what would you like to see come of Tony Khan Presents Ring of Honor? What exactly do you think Ring of Honor should be these days? Do you think it should continue as it was? Do you think that it doesn't need TV? Do you think that it does need TV? What exactly do you see as being kind of the sweet spot for Ring of Honor? Should it just be back to being a weekly episodic wrestling company? Should they be a kind of company like Pro Wrestling Guerrilla where it's all specialty matches that are like dream matches every month and all of that? What do you want out of Ring of Honor these days?
Give me professional wrestling. Give me guys that want to wrestle, that want to get better, mixed with guys who are still trying to make their spot in AEW or earn a spot in AEW. Give me the Dalton Castles, the Daniel Garcias, the FTRs. Give me guys that come in like Claudio and Hero, former Ring of Honor guys. Make this where as a standalone entity, it can be successful. No, it does not need to be on a level of Dynamite or Revolution or Elevation or Dark Elevation or Dark Elevation Dark. I don't care. But if you're telling me it's comparable to DDT, Progress, Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, AAW, AIW, if it can be something where, hey, FTR want to wrestle this weekend, let's book them in a match in Philadelphia against the Kings of Wrestling, the Briscoes, whomever wants to wrestle. But leave it as Ring of Honor. And AEW is allowing Ring of Honor wrestlers, or allowing AEW wrestlers to wrestle in Ring of Honor. They're allowing AEW to wrestle there. They're allowing Jonathan Gresham to defend his title on their show. Ricky Starks could go down there for a 3 or 4 leg tour,
Right?
Because he's not doing anything. Like, use this as your ability to let the Captain Sean Deans of the world and the Powerhouse Hobbs, Hook, send those guys. Let them go out there and not hone their craft, but let them go out there and get more than 4 minutes of ring time. Hook, all the charisma in the world, all the backstage segments in the world. Haven't seen the guy wrestle longer than 4 fucking minutes. Have no confidence that anything he does over the 6-minute mark will be better than anything else that anybody else could do. Let him go down and wrestle Frankie Kazarian for 12 minutes on a taped for Discovery Plus edition of Ring of Honor TV. It's 12 more minutes than he's going to get on fucking Dynamite. It's 12 more minutes than he's going to get on fucking Rampage.
Mm-hmm.
And I like Hook. I'm not saying this as a slander to Hook, because at the end of the day, send Hook. The kid is the most charismatic thing that they have going for them.
Yeah.
But here's your opportunity to allow your guys to work and get better. And work and get paid another paycheck. Let these guys do things. Like, no, you're not letting Jonathan Gresham go wrestle at AAW or AIW. But let's also not forget that Jonathan Gresham is also currently the Progress Wrestling World Champion, a title where the shows are streamed on WWE Network. So he's the Ring of Honor World Champion, working for a company owned by Tony Khan, while being the Progress Wrestling World Champion, working for a company who has their stuff distributed by Peacock. He is the wrestling leprechaun, boys and girls.
Pretty wild. Dude, you know what I want Ring of Honor to be? I want Ring of Honor to be Ring of Honor.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be what Ring of Honor used to be. But I want Ring of Honor to be different from AEW. I want it to be distinctly different than AEW. I want it doesn't have to be a weekly show. It could be a bi-weekly show. It could be a monthly show. But like, give me a distinct roster with distinct rules and distinct titles that only get defended there, unless you have, but have like this little, the quote unquote, for lack of a better word, forbidden door thing. We know Tony Khan owns both. We know that. So if Daniel Bryan Danielson wants to go to Ring of Honor and compete for the Ring of Honor Championship, and it makes sense, he can do that. There's that forbidden door. Or if he just wants to go to Ring of Honor and fight somebody, if he wants to go wrestle John Gresham, he can go wrestle John Gresham. There's that open door. But like, Daniel Bryan Danielson should not be showing up on Ring of Honor all the time. And Ring of Honor guys should not be showing up on Dynamite every week.
I agree.
Separate the products. You bought Ring of Honor, cool. But make Ring of Honor Ring of Honor. Like, if you want to make it distinctly yours, absolutely make it distinctly yours. But just give me a Ring of Honor product that's different than AEW. I don't need a, if they're gonna have an hour show, I don't need a third hour. Well, I guess technically a fourth hour of AEW TV that isn't dark and dark elevation, dark. To make it different. Give me Ring of Honor.
I agree.
Do you guys think it should be a separate thing? Even though Tony Khan owns both companies, it should be a separate entity, nothing to do with AEW, not a feeder,
Well,
elemental, none of that.
I know FTR defended the tag titles on Dynamite.
Right.
And Suzuki just defended the
Yes.
TV title.
TV title match.
Now this is my question. Both of those were established title matches, and one of them was the most obvious decision of all time, being the fact that you're not letting Minoru Suzuki go back to Japan with the Ring of Honor
Right.
TV title.
Right, of course.
Let's be real.
But hey, WWE is predictable, everybody.
Did Wheeler Yuta come out to the ring with the Pure title?
I don't remember.
That's a good question.
Because here's my thought process. Because Wheeler Yuta is the Ring of Honor Pure Wrestling Champion. Wheeler Yuta now all elite according to the Twitter sphere. You know who else was all elite? Big Mac was all elite. I was on the show. Appreciate it.
We saw the graphic. It was tweeted out.
Great graphic. Great
Samoa Joe's also all elite.
Correct. So, the way I look at it is, if the champions of Ring of Honor are not going to religiously carry those title belts around with them when they're on AEW, get the titles off of contractually regular AEW wrestlers and put them on somebody else as fast as you can.
Yeah,
because you're making the titles for Ring of Honor look like shit.
Right, like when Kenny showed up to Impact, he had the AEW.
And Don Callis is wearing the fucking Impact Wrestling title.
And they had
I would much rather
the AAA title with him.
Yeah, and one of the Good Brothers was wearing a title. Yeah, and the other one was wearing another title. Like at the end of the day, I don't need to see that. At least with Roman, it's like, oh, you're holding both belts. And then you're walking in the ring and you basically.
Mickie James came to the Royal Rumble as Knockouts champion.
Yeah, because there's a level of respect to the company that they're coming from.
Yeah.
If you're going to disrespect Ring of Honor by not having Wheeler Yuta walk out with the Pure title. And here's the thing. He can walk out with it for one show and have fucking Brian and Moxley be like, yeah, in the Blackpool Fight Club, we don't do that kind of shit. And then, okay, there's a reason why he's not wearing it to the fucking ring now.
Right, make sense.
Samoa Joe comes out on Wednesday night after getting laid out by fucking modern fucking Vegemite fucking Great Khali and doesn't have the Ring of Honor TV title. Tony Khan gives zero fucks about the TV title.
That's a problem.
That was his main event.
Yeah.
Jonathan Gresham defending the Ring of Honor World title at Battle of the Belts. If Jonathan Gresham shows up to an AEW show beforehand and does not walk out with one or both of the Ring of Honor World titles, Tony Khan doesn't give a fuck about Ring of Honor. And he's proving it by the fact that you own both of them. You're not giving somebody else that owns this any kind of TV time or anything else that you have to pay for or hope that you get reciprocal back from them. It's your company. You could have all your champions show up on every show if you really, truly wanted to. Those guys could defend the title on every show. Hell, Mercedes Martinez should be the one that should walk out after Nyla Rose and Thunder Rosa and be like, yeah, I'm the Ring of Honor Women's Champion. And?
Right. 100%.
Oh, and then Deonna Purrazzo comes out and she goes, no, see, I'm the real Women's Champion. And then, hell, you have a pretty damn good triple threat match between Mercedes Martinez and fucking Deonna Purrazzo and Thunder Rosa for the Ring of Honor Women's title. That could be a fun little thing. Oh, and by the way, let's not forget the fact that Deonna Purrazzo basically had a feud with a couple of different people in Ring of Honor. The Roxy, who I know just signed with WWE, but Willow Nightingale is someone that you could get some work out of. She wrestled Mercedes. Oh, did we forget that Mercedes Martinez was not fucking involved in the Britt Baker feud? Oh, look, Britt can now go fight for the Ring of Honor Women's title. Jamie Hayter could go fight for the Women's title. Rebel Not Reba could go fight for the fucking Ring of Honor Women's title. At the end of the day, it's all sewn together. But if Mercedes Martinez comes out for an episode of Dynamite and doesn't have the women's title around her waist, the only acceptable answer is she doesn't have it because Deonna Purrazzo has it.
True. Yeah, no, I'm right there with you, man.
If that's not the answer, there's nothing that can come out of this that's going to be more than Ring of Honor is NXT 3.0.
Right. Fair point.
And if it's going to be NXT 3.0, get everybody that you want from that roster, put them on the Ring of Honor roster, and make that a developmental brand. Send QT Marshall and the factory down there and put that on Discovery Plus once a month. Oh, we're back here with Ring of Honor trainee match number 67, fucking Hook versus some random fucking soul in the main event. Hook beats him in 7 minutes. Hook gets fucking more ring time. Hook looks like $1 million. Send Hook.
Send Hook.
I personally would literally make Ring of Honor Ring of Honor. Yes, there are some that I would let work both shows. I would let FTR. I would let Daniel Bryan, Bryan Danielson, as long as he's healthy. I would let John Moxley make an appearance here or there. Kazarian and Christopher Daniels, I'd let work on those shows because those are guys that were Ring of Honor stalwarts for a long time. Hell, give me Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish facing facing FTR for the Ring of Honor tag titles. Red Dragon was one of the best Ring of Honor tag team champions of all time. Give me that match. I would shut up and take my money. But I'm not all in on, well, FTR defended the titles against the Young Bucks on this episode of Dynamite, and then we forgot the fucking fact that they were tag team champions. Personally, I don't know either one of them, but I don't think Dax or Cash will let that happen because they've carried around those AAA titles with them pretty much every time they've come to the ring. But I think that's because Cash and Dax have a lot of respect for the wrestling business and know, hey, the company that gave us the ability to hold these titles want these titles to mean something. So it's the respect of the fact that, you know what, we respect the fact that they bought into us, so we're going to repay the respect back to that promotion. And I think that's kudos to Dax and Cash for that decision, because if Wheeler doesn't come out with the Pure title, what is the Ring of Honor Pure Wrestling title?
Yeah.
If you're not a Ring of Honor fan, you have no fucking idea.
Right.
That makes sense.
Joe, you want to add in your own topic, or you want to go back taking a nap? Just asking for a friend.
That is happening.
I think that
Pan.
personally, what I would love to see out of
Pizza.
Ring of Honor is definitely, I want to see it kind of go back to like the once a month, maybe, 1 weekend a month, kind of getting some big shows out there, kind of the way the Ring of Honor was for the longest time, and definitely the version of Ring of Honor that I love the most. I don't know that I need a weekly TV show out of them. I don't know that I need that. And granted, like, they seem to be building some things using Dynamite and stuff. Like, I don't exactly know where the Samoa Joe Jay Lethal feud is going. I feel like it's got to go to a Ring of Honor show. I feel like that's got to be when that match ends up being a main event somewhere, not just middle of the card on the next AEW pay-per-view, So that's kind of where I'm at on that, personally. That's what I'd like to see out of Ring of Honor. But I've been a Ring of Honor fan since 2002, so, calling back to the days where it was 2 shows a month and you might get those DVDs in 6 months, yeah, that's kind of exciting to me.
All right, next one, I guess. It's Michael. You're talking from last week. That'll be pushed over to this week.
Yeah. Obviously, night 1 of WrestleMania, the most stupendous 2-night extravaganza of all time, or some dumb shit like that they
Something
made
like
the
that.
fucking tagline. It
Yeah.
literally came out of nowhere. Another really bad tagline. Ugh. We had the return of, as Corey Graves called him, the prodigal son, the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes,
Right.
made his return to the ring of WWE. My topic is going to be let's strike while the iron's hot. Give me how you would book the American Nightmare Psycho really bad neck tattoo up until I guess we'll go up to SummerSlam because I think that's the safe route right now. That gets us to August. That's about a 4-month booking. I don't want to go too far in advance because, injuries and shit changes and stuff like that. I don't want to be like, oh yeah, Cody's the guy that's going to beat Roman, but then it's not going to be till WrestleMania. Stop.
Happy.
Give me the next 4 months of the American Nightmare.
So if we're not convinced that you find at all, which I think we're still in here about that, right?
What was the question? I'm sorry, I didn't hear it.
Are we convinced that they're not unifying titles?
I said on 3 count, and I know that Tim felt the same way, that at Money in the Bank will be where we know what the decision is. Whether we know before then or not is different than whether we find out then, because I have a feeling, and if Mike Rowe, who is obviously the clear-cut best announcer of the 2 major promotions. Justin Roberts. You can take your Keon and shove it up your ass.
I think that hates that guy more than fucking Jim.
He's fucking awful.
Buddy.
Fucking Wednesday, complain about him. Every
Thing sucks.
Buddy, I've never seen someone who looks like it hurts to talk. It looks like he's trying not to shit himself every time he fucking announces someone.
Painful.
main event.
It's painful.
Give me Dasha.
I'll tell you what, I don't hate him as much as you guys do, but if they were to hire Greg Hamilton and push him to the side, I'd be happy with that.
No, they have the person who should take over for him.
Who was it?
Bobby Cruz.
Mm-hmm.
I also have heard that Greg Hamilton is literal human garbage.
Really?
Yeah, I've heard that too.
Yeah, didn't he beat up his fucking fiance or something?
Yeah, I heard that rumor too. Yeah, stay away from Greg Hamilton.
Okay.
Yeah, no, give me Bobby Cruz if anyone's replacing Justin Roberts. Ain't no doubt about it, baby. Yeah, so I would say if when they announce the men's Money in the Bank briefcase match, if it is cash in to win the unified WWE Championship, or if it's the winner, if it's a Raw member gets to fight for the WWE title, if it's a SmackDown member, they're cashing in for the Universal title. That then makes a hill of difference on if this title is unified or if it's a separate entity. Which
I think in a way they've already been kind of telling us, because Cody keeps talking about the title that he thought his dad won,
which was the WWE title,
right?
Because the Universal title never fucking existed,
right? This guy back here, the black strap with the gold. So I think they've already kind of told us. Now we don't know for sure, obviously. But I mean, this week on Miz TV, he did actually say he wants the unified championship, whatever. I don't actually think that they've unified. It's 2 titles became 1. I don't actually believe that. Because I do think that Fox wants their own champion. And when Fox is spending the money that Fox is spending,
you do what Fox says.
You do what Fox says. That's
right.
why we got Ronda and Charlotte.
What does the Fox say?
Beep, beep, beep. No, sorry.
Says I want my own title. So I think we see a situation where, because the way I had planned it, even before this was a topic, before we even know for sure that Cody was in the WWE, when the rumors started swirling, I said, bring him back at Mania, have him face off against Seth at WrestleMania
Backlash.
You do a triple threat. So Cody comes out Raw after Mania, calls out Roman. Roman accepts. Then, of course, Seth comes out and is like, hey, Roman, remember WrestleMania when, you beat me, but it was a DQ? Yeah, I'm calling my spot. I want to be part of this thing. He gets added to the match. Cody pins Seth at Backlash. New champion. Roman doesn't look bad. Roman doesn't eat the pin. Roman still continues his God run with Big Blue. We're not getting that, as it would appear anyway, because it looks like I'm not 100% sure that Roman is getting a match at Backlash, because it looks like there is a slight injury to Roman. I think he's fine. He would have already relinquished the title by this point if there's anything major. We're getting Seth versus Cody too, which I'm totally fine with. So at this point, all eyes to me, Money in the Bank. Like, you're either going to put him on it at Backlash, which they're not doing. Now you get Money in the Bank. He keeps saying he wants the shot, so you get him into Money in the Bank. Now he wins Money in the Bank. He calls a shot. Maybe he even says cash in for just the WWE gold. Maybe that's how it's done. Like WWE doesn't even tell us. Cody's just like, give me that gold. Ends up winning it with a cash in. I don't think it's it's not going to be a it's not going to be a 22-minute classic or anything, because Roman's not going to eat a pin in a clean match. It'll be a cash in situation. Cody gets that gold. He's champ.
Mike, that face.
Go ahead, Ernest.
Bottom line, I think Cody should be champion no later than SummerSlam. He's got to strike while iron's hot and have his Money in the Bank. So be it. The scenario you said about the Money in the Bank is fine with me. I like the fact that his first match, second match really, post Mania, was against The Miz. Love that. You do Seth obviously at Backlash, whatever.
Backlash,
yeah. But I don't know how. The thing is, I mean, how do you fucking the belt? I was thinking about maybe doing a tournament if they relinquish one belt and do a fucking tournament for it, culminating at fucking SummerSlam. I don't know, some shit. But all I know is he's better have that fucking belt by no later than SummerSlam. I mean, he is so fucking over right now, dude. Like, I'm watching the last couple of Raws, like just like the highlights of Raw, and he's, I mean, the love fest is real.
So as the schedule stands right now, granted, you can always add potentially add a Saudi show. That probably doesn't come until the fall. You have Backlash on May 8th. You have Heck in a Sec on June 5th.
They're still doing that? Shit.
July 2nd, Money in the Bank. July 30th, SummerSlam. So you only have 4 pay-per-views between now and then. You only have to get through one more before Money in the Bank. So, like, even though I think it should be figure out a way to make it happen quicker, it feels like it's a Money in the Bank to me.
Money in the Bank, yeah. So it's July basically, because SummerSlam's in July this year.
Yeah, it's the last Saturday of July,
dude.
Joe, do you want to add anything? You want to add anything to the Cody run for the next 4 months or no?
Wakey, Joe.
No.
Wakey.
Oh no.
So wait. You know what's interesting is I was listening to Busted Open earlier.
I was gonna say, what, the fucking voices in your head just now?
Yes.
You were fucking sleeping.
I was out.
They talked to me.
I was so out. It was like me 5 years ago. So they were talking about Cody on Busted Open. They were talking about, ironic, I know I heard you say before in my slumber that not to take it to WrestleMania, and they had kind of done that. But you can just take it to SummerSlam. It's fine. You get Cody, obviously, to the world title. I don't think anyone makes any more sense right now to be the next WWE World, Universal, whatever. I don't care if you're keeping those titles together, you're pulling them apart. The guy who belongs beating Roman Reigns right now, the guy who gets to pin Roman Reigns and give him some kind of major level defeat is Cody. And it's built in, and it's all there. It's all there right down to the fact, and I feel like this is one of those storylines that no one's really been thinking about, but the whole basis behind Samoa Joe. Wow. Hello.
You mean
The
Joe?
whole, yeah.
You mean
The whole
Samoan
look.
Joe?
It's a Samoan named Joe, right? Exactly. The whole
Joey Samoa.
basis around
Need it.
Roman Reigns' thing is bloodline. It's his family being the top number one, yada yada yada. And then you have Cody, whose theme song literally starts with the whole line about there being more than one royal family in pro wrestling. The entire storyline is built in that one line in this man's theme song. Right there. Roman Reigns just coming out and being like, no, there's not more than one royal family. There's my family. Fuck the rest of you. That's it. That's the storyline. Because Cody right there is like, no, my music said what it said. And what, bitch? Let's go, Shaniqua. Take your fake nails off. Let's do this, bitch. Like, it's all built in there. It's all perfect.
You had me until Shaniqua.
Yeah,
Well,
I lost his sequence. My God.
would it have been better if I said Naomi? I mean, that would be accurate.
That would have worked better.
Slightly.
Oh, I just think that they, at the end of the day, that
On this day.
that this is clearly, there we go.
Let it settle.
This is clearly set up so perfectly, and like it couldn't have been planned better in a lot of ways. You know, like you couldn't have known that Cody was coming before you built this multi-year reign for Roman with the title. You couldn't have known that the perfect person to defeat him is on their way, and now they're here. And honestly, it needs to happen. It needs to happen. And if SummerSlam is when you do it, then fuck it. Do it at SummerSlam.
That was clip worthy, by the way, when he was coming. Anyway, go ahead.
So make.
I mean, that's what I feel like it's the obvious answer. If we were to go a route where you save it till WrestleMania, and I know you said don't do that, but if we were to go that route where we're saving it, you got to have Cody then in obviously a big match at SummerSlam. It's got to be against someone where the victory is going to mean something pretty significant.
Mm-hmm.
Given that he's on Raw, I don't know who that person is. Because you've already had him beat Seth. You've already kind of blown it with The Miz. Like, that could have been a pay-per-view level feud that you kind of just ran through in 1 week on Raw.
Agree.
You can't have him beat Edge because you're building this whole new storyline with Edge. So you're not having Edge lose this quickly.
He beat AJ.
You can beat AJ, but like at a certain point, everyone's beating fucking AJ.
That's the same.
Mania next year is way too long.
That's way fucking long.
The iron is way too cold by that point. Like not that Cody winning the title at Mania isn't a big deal,
right?
But he is no hotter than he will ever be between now and, like I said, to me, SummerSlam almost feels like it's not too late, but like too late in the sense that they shouldn't do it, but too late as in he will already start to cool off by then.
Agreed.
Here's the question.
Unless he walks out of Allegiant Stadium with the Money in the Bank briefcase.
Well, right, I was gonna say here's a question.
Yeah.
Do you think they blow it? Do you think it cheapens it if Cody wins via a surprise cash-in?
No.
Like if Cody wins the Money in the Bank briefcase this June.
Yep.
At Money in the Bank. May. And I mean, fuck it, do the Dean Ambrose thing. Have him cashing in at the end of the night on that fucking show.
I will say this: if somebody had the Money in the Bank briefcase, one of those titles would not be Roman Reigns anymore.
Or both.
No. I'm just saying, somebody would have cashed in for one of them, because that would have been your loophole. Is that it was for either title of whatever brand you're on, and
right.
you could have had him lose it almost right away, especially if his arm is somewhat dinged up, not a severe injury, but somewhat dinged up from the Kimura and the match against Brock. You know, it was an easy way to, now he has the Usos that can go after that person and do all that shit and fend his honor, while he heals. It doesn't have to be involved in matches. Yeah, but I think the route I'm going, obviously you guys saw my facial expression. I am in agreement with Jim. He beats Seth at Backlash. He wins Money in the Bank, but Cody's going to do something a little different. This is where the Adam Pearce of the world comes in and says, Roman, hold on. You're defending the title twice at SummerSlam. You're getting a buy one, get one free at the head of the table. Your first title match, you'll be defending the SmackDown, the Universal Championship, against someone from the Blue Brand. Give me Drew McIntyre. Give me Happy Corbin. Give me Madcap Mansoor. I don't really care who it is. And when Roman shows up on Raw, going, "Who's my challenger?" The music hits. He walks out. He sticks money in the bank on the stage and goes, "I'll see you at SummerSlam." Drops the microphone and walks away. Leaves the briefcase there, symbolizing that he is cashing in Money in the Bank at SummerSlam. Roman retains in the first match of the night, defeating Drew McIntyre, who I'm going to use from this description. Hard-fought match. Takes everything out of him to win the match. He again gets the 2.5 hour break, and he gets Cody in the main event. Usos try to get involved. They get squandered. Heyman tries to throw a title belt. Doesn't work. Cody kicks him in the dick, hits him with Crossroads. Bingo, new world champion. He gets the fucking pyro as the show ends. Oh my God, there's a chink in the armor of the fucking Roman dynasty. Whatever are we going to do? And Titan Stadium has more fireworks go off than when the Titans win a playoff game. And you've now have Cody, the A1 star of Monday Night Raw. Roman still looks good because he defended and retained the title that he's trying to break records with. And losing to someone of the merit of a guy who was executive vice president of the rival fucking company doesn't look as bad as losing to Braun Strowman. I think that's the route that you go. That's the safest route. That also makes Cody the babyface of WWE. Not a babyface. Not a potential babyface. He is the John Cena
Oh, he's
of
closer now.
WWE. If he does the honorable thing and says, I will see you in Nashville, July 30th. I'm coming for the WWE title. And you give him the full-fledged intro. You give him the video package where, you do that shortly after Money in the Bank. And then you get the Bloodline's the only family in wrestling. Not so fast, my friend.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a couple other families that may have something to say. You could bring Randy Orton out, and you could get a match out of Randy Orton leading into that. The Ortons versus the Rhodes. Leading into Cody then having to go through the last family, the final boss of families, being the Samoan dynasty.
Can he have to beat Charlotte on the way there too?
Yeah, I'm in.
Okay. Let's just get Cody fucking just
Do it all.
Just fucking curb stomping Charlotte's horse face into the mat.
Beat
Let's
every
do it.
family that you can get a hold of.
That's my Charlotte Flair impression.
Yeah. No, I think that's a route for Cody that then when he walks into that stadium and every person is singing that song and screaming for him, and he gets the pyro and he gets the entrance where he's coming up through the fucking hole in the ground. That's that moment where you thought WrestleMania was loud. There was a roof on that building. Let that motherfucker not have a roof in Nashville, and let him come out to that, and the video package leading into it. That's probably going to give everybody chills and probably make a couple people teary-eyed, with the dream and the family and all that stuff, and give Cody that moment. Let him have that moment that when he walks back up that ramp, that there is no bigger baby face working for your company than the American Nightmare. And leave no doubt, Drew McIntyre, good baby face. Great guy. Great performer. Not on the level of the American Nightmare
No.
after SummerSlam. You leave no doubt. You make him the 1A to Roman's 1B. Roman is for sure the number one heel in your company. You make Cody Rhodes your number one face, and you go with it. And if that means he holds that bitch all the way through WrestleMania and eventually loses it to whomever, Bobby Lashley, Omos, whomever the fuck you want him to lose it to, that makes sense, fine. But I'll tell you this much. Cody Rhodes, 2 years ago, being, I can't wrestle for a world title, to winning the world title at SummerSlam, to walking into his second WrestleMania back as a world champion, there's no bigger cheering at SoFi Stadium than watching him walk into that arena with the world title around his waist.
Solid.
Yeah.
I can't dispute any of that.
Oh, kind of like that. All right, last one for tonight, and I think it's mine. So,
Yay!
so give me what if, Jim, you don't mind? Yeah, so I've been watching a lot of the. I actually finished the.
Ruthless passion.
Correct. And I love season 2. Pat McAfee did all the narration on this one. So I went back to watch season 1 again for I think the second time, recently, and I went back to I was go to the Cena episode, the Raw, the Civil War, and of course went to the Brock Lesnar episode, and it goes into obviously his really it's really a 2 year tenure, between 2002 and 2004 in WWE, So it got me thinking, what if Brock Lesnar stayed in WWE beyond 2004? Now, obviously, we know the story. He goes away. He does MMA. He tried. He almost made the Vikings roster in 2007, I think it was. Of course, he comes back in 2012, and his second run, of course, is fantastic. But it got me thinking, what if Lesnar actually stayed beyond 04? Because remember, this was pretty much the guy in 02 and 03. They put the rocks on him pretty quickly. He wins King of the Ring. He debuts in March or April of 02. He wins King of the Ring in summer in June. The title with The Rock, it's The Rock at SummerSlam in August. He made this Mania literally months later with Kurt Angle. And he's the guy. And obviously he goes away because he just doesn't want to do it. Which I can respect to some degree, because if you don't want to do it, you want to do it. But as we know, with WWE, of course, through the years, John Cena becomes the guy, a year later and all that. But what if Brock Lesnar stayed in WWE beyond 2004? How does this company look? Because Losing Aggression is a pretty significant time in this business, and it's launched so many great careers. Not just Lesnar, but obviously Randy Orton and you name it. So, what do you think? How do you think the World Wrestling Entertainment would have been shaped beyond 2004 after WrestleMania 20?
So I'll say one thing to start. I don't know. Okay, no, I'm going to rephrase it.
Okay.
Brock Lesnar would not be the star, the level that he is, if he had never left WWE.
Totally agree with you.
100%. He needed to go. One of the whole aspects of Brock and why he is as over as he is because he is seen as this legitimate athlete, this real heavyweight, real fighter, went out there, did it in UFC, won the world title, all of that. That adds to his aura, that adds to his character, that adds to the legacy that he's built in WWE. You don't have any of that if he just sticks around for 20 years in WWE. You have Randy Orton if he sticks around for 20 years in WWE. You have maybe he has another 5 or 6 title reigns under his belt if he sticks around in WWE. Maybe he's part of a couple more great matches or great storylines or great feuds or whatever. But you don't have a star to the size that you actually have right now with the Brock Lesnar who left, the Brock Lesnar who went to Japan, the Brock Lesnar who went to UFC, who did all these things and then came back. And right from the moment he returned was this huge deal. It's kind of like we were just talking about Cody. Like, Cody isn't the guy who feels like he should be the guy to beat the guy that's been the guy for the last 2.5 years if he doesn't leave and go off and start his own company, essentially, with fucking Aldo Montoya, Tony Khan over there with his piles of cocaine. Like, you don't get that out of Cody without all of that happening. I don't think you get out of Brock what we've gotten out of Brock without all that happening. I don't think Brock becomes the guy that beats The Undertaker for the streak. I don't think that he becomes so many of the big things that Brock has become. I don't think any of that happens. So in a weird way, yeah, you might have him for longer. You might have more longevity to him, but you don't have a star the size that you have, which, given how much WWE has been lacking in its ability to, let me just say that right there, right? There's an irony in the fact that the way to become a really big star in WWE and really be built tends to be leave the fucking company and go be successful on your own by yourself. It's how Drew did it. It's how Brock did it. It's how Cody did it. Like, Roman is like the rare guy who hasn't done it. Roman's that rare character who actually just stuck with WWE.
Roman had a machine strapped to him.
Right, exactly.
Machine strapped to him. Drew never did until he made a name for himself. Cody didn't until he had a name.
Right. So, I mean, that's where I'm at with this Brock Lesnar thing. Like, I just don't think he's as successful if he never leaves.
I agree with you on that one.
I don't know how long Brock Lesnar's career is. If he stays. First off, he fucking fucked up his neck because they tried to big men shouldn't do that. I don't care the fact that he can do it.
Right.
He shouldn't do it.
Right.
Sid proved why big men don't need to go up top. Every time Drew McIntyre goes up top, every time Sheamus goes up top, I think about Sid. I'm like, man, there's no reason. There's no fucking reason for a big man to go vertical. No reason.
There's also no reason why you should be trying to do a jumping big boot either. That was just a dumb fucking move.
See, you know what it makes me think of back in the day when, like, the Pioneer ECW DVDs were out. You remember what I'm talking about? Or it was like extreme.
Where like Mike Awesome just fucking jumping all over
the
place.
It was just a collection of like the best ECW matches half the time, or like the first pay-per-view and last pay-per-view stuff like that. One of them though had like an outtakes one, and there was this huge dude. It wasn't Cheeks from TNA, but it was someone that size, just this huge, gigantic guy, like had to be like 500 pounds. Jumping off of the top rope and like both his ankles just fucking eat it. Like the moment he lands. Yeah. Disgusting. Honestly. Like horrible. Ernest's wife would not approve. Like it is just the worst thing that you could possibly see.
Hi, I'm Johnny Knoxville. Welcome to Jackass.
Yes, pretty much.
So I because like the next big thing, Brock Lesnar. Okay, so he rose to superstardom. He beats The Rock. He's WWE champion, multi-time WWE champion. Drops himself on his fucking neck. Okay, so what? He wrestles a full-time schedule another couple of years. That's a big dude, man.
Yeah,
that's a big dude. That body's gonna break down.
And we're probably over him too, also pretty quickly, because there wasn't much personality there too.
No, there's no fucking personality, and at that point, okay, so Heyman's his mouthpiece. It's different than it looks now. Heyman's relationship with WWE was not always great at that time. So that's not. It's not sustainable. None of it is sustainable. The reason Brock Lesnar that we know Brock Lesnar. Like, again, we remember that the early run, but like this second half of his career since the return, a decade ago, is infinitely better than that first run.
Mm-hmm.
Brock Lesnar doesn't end the streak if he doesn't leave, because he doesn't go to the UFC. He doesn't. He's not a fucking badass fighter that the Undertaker like takes a shining to. Like, he doesn't do the failed NFL run. He doesn't he doesn't come back. Suplex City is not a thing.
Right.
Like, the 1 in 21 is not a thing. The fucking Seth Rollins cash in is not a thing. Money in the Bank fucking stereo Brock is not a thing. Fucking Cowboy B Brock is not a goddamn thing. Like, yeah, I think he probably goes another, if he doesn't leave, he probably goes another couple of years, and then he's just like, peace out. I'm gonna go fucking pull mule carts with my teeth in Canada somewhere. And then we're just never gonna see him again.
Now,
At that point, he's not gonna be able to go to UFC if he's that busted up.
right.
Yeah.
And I think there was some sort of appreciation too when he was gone. When he came back, like, you go back, it's funny. You look back, you watch those 2 years. It's dramatically different than the next 10. Like, 8-year of course, and it's like he's this, this monster coming into WWE. He's immediately getting the rocket ship immediately within months. The world champion, getting over against guys. First off, if Austin doesn't lead the company, he beats Austin that summer. Then he beats The Rock. He beat the 2 biggest guys in probably in history of the company in the same summer. Okay, it was a lot too soon.
Yeah,
but in the long run, it was the best that ever happened to him, though. I think because this brought. And now, granted, I'm speaking from hindsight because remember, I actually stopped watching wrestling literally. I think the week he debuted on
after he murdered Spike Dudley.
Yeah, because I stopped watching after Mania 18.
Dudley.
Right. But I obviously heard what he was doing, all that, but
too violent for him. It was like that jackass.
But when I started watching again recently, like last couple of years, one thing I did was watch Brock's run, obviously the early run, but also watch Brock's run between 2012 and 2015. And I'll tell you what, that 2014 run, from the time he beat Taker for the streak, all the way through SummerSlam when he dominated Cena, up until Mania 31, we obviously, where Seth cashes in, one of the most dominant title runs in the history of the company. And to me,
I don't know that I'll say dominant because he wasn't there for 91.4% of it. But the matches he had, he was dominant in.
But the perception was that, right? You're in context, you're probably right. But I'm just saying the perception was he was fucking beyond that. Like, to me, it mirrors the first year of him being in WWE back in 2002. So I don't know. Like, obviously, like, if he's not there, if he's there, look, I think John Cena still becomes John Cena anyway, regardless if he was there a couple of years. Maybe it's delayed one more year, but Cena's still the guy at some point within the next year or two. But yeah, I think the best thing happened to him was taking 8 years off, coming back, and then fucking kicking ass. And yeah, these last 10 has been fantastic. Obviously you want to see more on TV, but honestly, he's great being part time because he's someone you appreciate more when he's away for a couple months and comes back.
Without question.
Saying
part-time Brock is infinitely better than full-time Brock.
The last 6 months have been awesome from SummerSlam last year to Mania, awesome. And now he's away now. It's okay, he's away now.
And I mean, here's the deal: like, Money in the Bank Brock through like Cowboy Brock, he's been around and has worked more than he did for the first couple of years he came back. So he's more full-time than part-time, but he's not a full-time, which is the perfect mix.
Right.
I also think for the first time in a long time he's healthy.
Yeah.
Yes.
The bout where he with his intestines and all that shit and all the surgeries from that. He's finally. I'm not going to say he has a clean bill of health, or whatever the fuck it's called. But I definitely think that there are some things that were wrong with him when he left UFC, when he left trying for football, and when he came back that weren't 100% right. And I think he's finally got a clear bill of health. So I think that's playing a role in it significantly. But I guess the question, since everyone has said that it would not be as good as if he didn't leave, was what would have been different.
Right.
What would have been different is he would have probably have been the biggest heel coming out of WrestleMania because he booed and got booed out of that building with that match with Goldberg.
But would that have happened?
Yes, that match with Goldberg still would have happened.
But that's-
100%.
But not the booing out of the building, because they got booed out of the building because everyone knew they were both leaving.
Right.
Well, if Goldberg was still leaving and the match was dog shit, New York's not going to fucking cheer Brock Lesnar to cheer Brock Lesnar.
No, but see, I think that
No.
Brock Lesnar would have been over in that match.
They were both getting booed because of who the referee was. Those guys were both destined to get booed.
No, they got booed because they were both leaving.
Yeah.
They got booed because Stone Cold was fucking there.
No, Stone Cold was put there because they knew that
Yeah.
the match was
Stone
going to
Cold,
get shit
Stone
on.
Cold was.
But why
But
would
as
you give a
referee,
fuck if they're
because-
both leaving? If they're both leaving, why would you give a fuck if they get booed out of the building?
Well, because you got to have
Don't you
something.
think his show hijacked?
Yeah, no, you got to have something for the audience.
I'm sorry. Have you guys not seen New York crowds before? They hijack every fucking thing.
Not like that. That was a whole different monster, man.
Yeah, but let's be real. That match with Goldberg still would have happened. I do not think he would have been cheered.
Was there a feud leading into that? I mean, a big feud leading into that match, like a main feud, or was that just thrown together once they knew he was leaving?
It was kind of thrown together once they found that both of them were fucking leaving. At like Royal Rumble.
Here's the thing: like, if Lesnar's not leaving and Goldberg's leaving, why is Brock getting booed there?
Because after the match when he blasts fucking Stone Cold and he's the biggest fucking heel in the company, which nobody let me finish getting to, by the way. Because you have two faces as your champion in Eddie Guerrero and Chris Benoit coming out of that WrestleMania. So you need a heel to go feud with Eddie Guerrero. And guess what? That means we don't have the emergence of WWE Hall of Famer John Bradshaw Layfield.
So that
Brock is the guy who inevitably feuds with Eddie to get vengeance for Eddie beating him for the title. And looks to get payback from that. He inevitably loses to Eddie, goes down a path of destruction, destroys the entire mid-card, probably wins the Intercontinental title a couple of times, eventually wins the world title from somebody down the road. And personally, I think he ends up on Raw and stops the reign of terror of Triple H from regaining steam.
you're talking about Brock, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Does he stunt?
But I think he is done by
06?
no.
2010.
I was gonna say he probably wraps it up about 2010.
Ironically, right before he actually returned.
I think that's when it's okay. I've done this enough, and he may go away for a couple years, go do his. I'm gonna go shoot some guns and fucking run some people over in an ATV, and then Vince goes, "Hey, I got a lot of money that I would love for you to come back and have a couple matches at WrestleMania and be part-time and do some part-time stuff." And Brock will probably say, "You know what? Fine, I'll take the fucking money because you know what? I'm an idiot to not say yes to this fucking equation."
It wouldn't be the way he did it now. The way it wouldn't be the same, though. Be honest with you.
But how does? But hold on. How do we know that? If Paul Heyman is still there, cutting his promos and having his what could have changed? Let's backtrack here. Everybody is slam dunk that everything would be different. But what did he do that was so different? He went and wrestled. He went and fought in the UFC. He had 5 UFC fights. He lost 2 of them, and the last one he got his fucking liver kicked so hard that I think he shit it out on the fucking mat. He made it to week 2 of fucking NFL training camp. If you're not a Minnesota Viking fan or a WWF fan, you couldn't even probably name the team that he fucking was in camp with. I was waiting for that before I kept talking.
A while ago, I'm of the opinion that no matter how long the Brock thing happened, if he stays 2, 3, whatever, how many years, Cena gets over at some point anyway, no matter what. But does Brock being there maybe push that back a year or two, you think?
No. No, it just gives Cena somebody else to beat. It gives Cena was coming up regardless.
Right.
It didn't matter. I don't think Brock Lesnar staying or going affected the fact that John Cena was coming.
Yeah, no, because you actually had Cena fighting Brock
That's what
back then at that
I'm saying.
time.
They had matches against
on the
each
come
other.
up, yeah.
It didn't matter.
I think they even had pay-per-view matches with each other.
Yeah, it zero. John Cena's career has zero to do with Brock Lesnar leaving.
Win the title at Mania 21, regardless of Brock's there.
Yes, because Brock would have probably been fighting for the other title.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
there were
more
still
than
2 world titles at that time.
right, more than anything else, I think instead of having, one of you guys said this before, but instead of having it be, a couple of years of nonstop Triple H show, right? Triple H on one show
and the other
Randy Orton and John Cena on the other, and all that. Like, you had Brock to that mix. That's kind of what you get. You get Brock Lesnar, the 7-time world champion, or however many reigns he gets, and he's involved in all that. Maybe he has a couple more matches with Angle. Maybe he has some matches with Benoit. Maybe you get him and Eddie again. I mean, like, you get some probably legendary matches that don't exist in this timeline. Mandela effect, they exist somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
But, you don't get them. Like you get lots of that stuff, but I think you do get it in lieu of the stuff that we did get. I like I said, like I will stand by the fact that I don't think he's the guy that ends the streak if he never leaves.
I think he was the only guy that was ever going to end the streak.
I don't know.
Roman being the second domino to fall is irrelevant.
Oh yeah, no, but they might just have not ended the streak. Honestly,
Parker was right call.
Or maybe it would have happened sooner.
I don't think that was.
Maybe it would happen sooner, at the very least.
I think it got to where it needed to get, and I think that there will be a time when it comes out that decision, as much as everyone wants to say, was Vince's. I still think that Mark from Texas had a very strong hand on who, when, and where that ended, especially after it got past about 15.
Personally, I don't see Brock getting to WrestleMania 30 if he doesn't leave.
Yeah,
I don't see him with this.
But if he leaves in 2010 and takes a short sabbatical and comes back. But
I mean, isn't the premise that he doesn't take a leave? That he just stays?
The question was, what happens if he doesn't leave in 2004? He takes a sabbatical after 2010 and shows back up and fucking wrecks the fucking world, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't see it, man. To me, like, and I look at that McAfee interview, like dude would have been financially set if he has his initial run, it ends after a handful of years. He's got plenty of money. Like, he's not living in fucking, Castle Marmiz in LA. Like, he's not married to fucking, Maurice and having this fucking mansion on a fucking golf course in Los Angeles. He's fucking pulling farm carts with his goddamn teeth in fucking rural Canada somewhere.
He's taking the bag from Saudi Arabia. Money is money. Whether he's loaded or not is irrelevant because he still made money in his UFC contract.
Of course he did, but like, I don't know. I personally, I see him as a dude that, like, he has that initial run, his body gets fucking wrecked, and he's just, all right, I'm cool. I'm done here. I did what I needed to do. I'm a good family guy. That's the way.
If he never leaves, then he probably never gets with Sable, and he probably stays with his first wife.
Possibly.
I'll just say that I'm not out on that we don't get the Brock that we get now if he stays, because I don't necessarily. The only thing that he did of merit when he left was go fight in the UFC.
Right, which
His football shit is irrelevant.
oh, the football shit's irrelevant, but the fact that he did the UFC thing like that, I mean, he came back, still had his fucking Jimmy John's and Combat Apparel fucking sponsorships when he first came back.
But for some reason, he didn't tap out to an ankle lock by, a professional wrestler. But he tapped like all hell whenever fucking Frank Mir put him in a heel hook.
Because that's real.
But we're supposed to believe that the 1-21-1 was real, and that Brock Lesnar beat him because Brock Lesnar forced him to, according to Paul Heyman in those stupid shoot videos that people think it's real.
Mm-hmm.
But I digress. Yeah, no. I mean, honestly, I was just playing devil's advocate because all three of you basically said the same thing. Just trying to play a role that was different. Yeah, no, Brock leaving made the most sense, not only for Brock, but for the company. Brock was tired. Brock was fucking worn out. Brock's neck was fucked up from that shooting star splash from the 2 years before, or the year before. Yeah, even if he makes it through 20, you're looking at 3 months before he's probably on the shelf going to getting that thing fucking fixed. So you might get a couple more matches with Eddie before, unfortunately, Eddie passes, which would have been fun. But that's it. I think Brock ends up getting put on the shelf. I think Brock goes and gets his fucking neck fixed. Maybe starts wrestling a whole different style then. Stops taking chances and unnecessary moves and maybe changes his entire offense, which is something that could have happened. Maybe takes a more combat sport mantra there because that's when UFC started gaining steam.
Do you guys enjoy early Brock?
Oh, I loved early Brock.
Mm-hmm.
I loved early Brock. But I think the thing we have to remember is early Brock was benefited by the fact that he had the mouthpiece of Extreme Championship Wrestling cutting his promos. And we saw once Paul turned and joined the Big Show that Brock was a C+ at best promo.
Mm-hmm.
Of course.
You can't let your world champion have a C+ promo. You just can't. And unfortunately, that's where Brock was. And Brock was not going to get better at promos until they let Brock Lesnar be Brock Lesnar.
Yeah,
and once they let Brock be Brock,
Which took 20
it
years.
didn't matter.
Early Brock was fine.
Monster, though.
The return Brock was better.
Of course.
Money in the Bank Brock was fantastic. Cowboy B Brock beats them all.
Early Brock, though, was a fucking monster. The fucking
Absolutely.
straps, bro. It's like, holy crap, who is this fucking guy?
Yes, because that's what happens when you're like a 22, 23 genetic fucking freak right out of college, where you're a professional you're a collegiate wrestler who's wrestling for national titles like Gable Steveson was. And at the end of the day, Brock should have been a beast. He should have came in the way that he did. Because as jacked as he is, he should have been a fucking wrecking ball. He should have been blitzkrieging the entire mid-card, fucking up the Jeff Hardy and the Matt Hardy and the Zach Gallons of the world. Because that's what a guy who you're trying to get nuclear fucking heat on should do. And it worked. It made him one of the most over heels in the business. I will say this, the defining moment for Brock Lesnar as a heel early was the fact that he got cheered when he beat The Rock.
Yeah.
The crowd that night chose to turn Brock. I don't think Vince was ready to turn Brock.
Right.
I think he wanted Brock to continue to be a heel.
Yep.
And the fact that fan base turned Brock without Vince allowing him to stay a heel made a hell of a lot of difference in the early Brock Lesnar run.
Which is awesome because then we got Hollywood Rock after that. So in the end, it worked out great. My favorite Rock gimmick of all time. So
Sure.
Anyway, yeah, that guy's Enigma. So, all right, it's time for Wrestlers of the Week.
Yay, Wrestlers of the Week.
Let's go first. I went first last week. I'll be fair to you guys.
Joe's going first this week. I'm giving him the right because I know who he's picking, and I think I've already written it down. Hold on, let me enter the proper date. I don't want to fuck this up. 4/14. Just make your pick.
All right. My first pick as an openly gay man and
I would have never guessed.
adult film star. Can I go with that? I've done 3 scenes. I guess amateur. I don't know. I don't know if I'm a star yet. Like a co-star. I don't know.
Actor.
Okay. Anyway, I don't know how often I'll ever get to say this on a pro wrestling podcast, but I'd like to nominate Bussy this week for winning the Bussy. It's yes. For winning the GCW tag team titles from the Briscoes. It's not a good time to be the Briscoes. By the way, I just realized they made homophobic tweets and then they got beat by Effie. There's something great about that.
I'm glad you just fucking
I
figured
just
that out.
got that.
All right, my first pick, the new Ring of Honor television champion. Give me Joey Samoa.
Oh man, I had him right there. Damn it.
All right, well, hey, guess what? Jim gets your pick, so Jim, make his pick.
I'm gonna go with the guy who is just driving Kevin Owens insane, and that is Ezekiel, Elias's younger brother.
All right. Ernest, the floor is
Don't put
yours.
quotes.
For
He is
for your
Elias's brother. You can see the resemblance.
pick. Yes.
I'm gonna
Correct.
a guy that debuted on SmackDown last week. Give me Gunther.
Gunther.
Yeah.
All right, Jim, you can take my pick this round.
Well, shit. I'm completely unprepared for this. Let's go with fuck it. I thought he had a fantastic match to beat Penta Oscuro to start AEW Dynamite last night. I'll go CM Punk.
All right.
Joseph.
I'm trying to remember what happened on NXT this week.
I swear to God, if you don't,
What?
how do you send a text saying, "How did you guys not tell me that this is the greatest tag team of all time?" And you're like contemplating.
Oh, Pretty Deadly. I'm just saying. I was trying to remember what happened on NXT this week. They are my new favorite tag team. Nobody told me that there was an 80s glam like rock gimmick going on in NXT, and I'm here for it.
Jim, I'll let you take Joe's final pick.
Oh,
All
good. I
right.
don't think I'm another one.
Give me. All right, you know what? Fucking give me the 7-star general. I thought he had a great segment on Miz TV, and he got the win over the Miz in his return match to Monday Night Raw. Give me Cody Rhodes.
Ugh. Now I'm stuck because there's 2 people that I'm going back and forth on. You know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna take a tag team because it's the week of tag teams, I guess. Give me the new IWGP World Tag Team Champions. Give me the Great Okan and Jeff Cobb, the United Empire.
It's my turn finally. The last one here. You know what? Got 3 choices here. I'm gonna take them. I'm gonna take
You have 3 choices here. Now I want to know the other 2.
No, I'm gonna say I have 3 guys I have marked here options here.
That's
what he said. Once he hears your one,
yes.
He wants to hear the other 2.
I'm gonna go Gian. Let's go Gian Moxley with a big win over Wheeler Yuta on Rampage last week. Okay, good match last week from Gian. The other 2 were RK Bro and the Usos. Honestly,
I would have been happier if you would have told me that Mandy Rose was on your short list had she retained the NXT Women's title.
I also have Sonya Deville too as a 4 option, but
yeah. If things went crazy and you guys somehow picked all mine, I had William Regal as a last second because of his acting job on the video with Danhausen where he was cursed.
Last night.
I almost went Wardlow.
Really?
Because I thought
I contemplated picking
that segment was so good.
Yeah, I contemplated picking fucking oh god, who
fucking
no
Veer.
Yes.
Really?
Yes, because he killed Dominic Mysterio.
I'm pleasantly surprised with what they've done with Veer.
By the way, Veer came hard.
Veer came hard.
Veer came real hard on Raw.
Oh, wait, before we go, did they really drop the Austin Theory?
Yeah.
Did you wait?
What are you fucking new here, guy?
I didn't see.
Did we not talk about it on this show? Did I not tell Joe that Austin has PTSD from the stunner that he took?
Nope.
I swore I mentioned it on the show. It may have been while you were chronologically frozen, like Austin Powers in The Spy Who Shagged Me. But whatever, with your stupid ass fucking jacket on. I legitimately was like, yeah, Austin Theory has PTSD, and he dropped the Austin because anytime he hears the name, he thinks of the stunner that he took on WrestleMania Night 2.
No, I didn't hear that part, but I found out this morning, this afternoon, driving in the car.
And then it was the
Even
whole,
I heard that part and I was asleep for half the show.
and then it was the whole theory, the theory of relativity,
Yes.
relative theories. You're like, I'd like to be in theory, and I was
Yeah.
like, that's not really a theory. Like, we made a whole fucking 3-minute clip about theory jokes, and yeah, all right, Austin Powers.
Riddle makes sense. Theory. Anyway, Big Jim, plug away, buddy.
That's your theory.
Caught me at a yawn. All right, you can follow me at Big Jim Sports on Twitter. You can just make sure you are following along with the show at 3 Count Thursday, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. 3countthursday.com. Subscribe to all podcast platforms, YouTube as well. Got some big changes sweeping through because Big Mike is
I know what one of them is.
Because Big Mike is a responsible adult. He already knows what one of them is, and he will not tell anyone. And not even you, EJ, because you decided to sleep earlier. So boo to you. But no, some big changes coming to the
Bootios. They make sure you ain't booty.
You ain't booty. Big changes coming to the show. We will still be live on Thursday nights at 8:00. We can promise you that, but make sure you stick to us on social media for everything else that's going on with us. Also, Huddle Up Podcast at Huddle Up Podcast on Twitter and Facebook. I think
there's a rumor down the dirt sheets that next Tuesday could be a something going on Huddle Up.
USFL.
Yeah, we're probably going to be getting some stuff down for some upcoming episodes. So follow us on our social media there as we continue through the football off season. But yeah, that's it for me.
And no discussion, no about it? Nothing on the discussions yet?
Yeah, you'll hear about it when you hear about it.
Whatever, dude.
Plug away.
Jim, don't I roll me, motherfucker.
You bore me. Go get the popcorn and shut up.
Plug your social medias.
I'm not allowed to.
No, this is our show. You can.
No, you still don't want to follow my porn account. Like,
I didn't say I was going to.
There's a lot. There's a lot of Joe's everything.
See, you're missing the joke. I'm telling you to plug it.
Oh my God! Good night.
I'm literally teeing this up for you.
I'm not even gonna myself.
Failing.
Look, I'm tired.
Ready to come.
Okay, he's off the screen now because he failed at that joke. You can follow me at the. I muted my microphone. You can follow me at They Call Me Burn. You can follow the show at Take the Number 3 Wrestling. I tweet from there. I don't think anybody else does. Joe may not even have a login to that one. Thank God, because he'd probably upload the wrong content there. You can also listen to me if you like hearing me talk about baseball. My baseball podcast, Sunny Days and Double Plays, a podcast about the baseball league that I play in down here in South Florida. We're gaining some steam on that, so if even if you don't listen, feel free to give me a couple follows and subscribe and do all that fun stuff so I can keep boosting myself up the rankings list. Other than that, had a fun time on 3 Count tonight. Had a good time having Jim here with us as always. He's basically the unannounced fourth man of this.
He's the solo Sika.
Yeah, he's the solo Sika of the 3 Count family, the Take 3 family.
What's your show called? The Sunny Days.
Sunny Days and Double
Rough
Plays.
Times of Tammy Lynn Sitch. Oh, that's a whole.
Yes.
I knew it. You were going.
Exactly. Glad you caught the reference. No, yeah. So beer came hard. Other than that, you know, it's always fun doing all this fun shit with you guys. The countdown to WrestleMania Hollywood is on, and ready to go to what's that now? Like 37 in a row. We're gonna go to
12.
Fuck.
Close enough.
Ernest says he's gonna be at that show. I'm not holding my breath. I hope he is, but I'm not holding my breath because Ernest is about as
Goes to WrestleMania or Ernest gets a new computer.
Put in a poll. Put in the poll.
What happens first is I become president of like
Option
the
C.
parent teacher council. And
Yeah.
I won't even run, and I'll still somehow win before either of those occur.
Ernest takes his kid to see Sonic 3 before any of that stuff happens.
Sonic 2 was awesome, man. Sonic 2 was awesome, actually. I actually enjoyed it.
I know, but they haven't even announced Sonic 3 yet. So the fact that that's going to happen before those other things.
All right, Toolbox, plug your shit. Let's go.
On Twitter, EJChristian7. Yes, I hate Clay Travis like Jim does now.
I'm gonna swallow it in.
I don't hate him. He's fucking annoying as shit. He hates him. Earthquake Podcast, of course, all podcast catchers. Beyond that, I think that is it. Great show, fellas. Other than the technical difficulty in the beginning, and
For you,
for me, yeah.
I hope you go back and listen to the beginning, the first however long when me and Jim are literally just trolling the shit out of you being frozen. Can't wait. Other than that, I'm gonna go record my baseball podcast because that has to get released in about 5 hours. So, yeah. Okay, guys.
I may do Mercy Podcast in a couple minutes also too. So
I'm going to sleep, fuckers. I gotta work
I
in.
well, the reason why you have some guts to do this right now is because there's no school for the kids tomorrow, so I can sleep in.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm off tomorrow.
I have to work in a few hours, so
Well, I gotta be to work by noon. So, yay.
11 o'clock, so it's all good.
Rihanna and A$AP Rocky broke up. Okay, continue.
Yeah, no. If you were paying attention during the 3 count show, that joke was made, and I proceeded to ask, was she beaten up by the umbrella by Chris Brown? Because Mark.
good night, everybody.
Good night.